Hello, I'm Michael Wybrow, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about JavaScript object notation, also known as JSON. So JSON has become a sort of de facto standard and interchange format for the web. And this kind of makes sense because it's how you write object literals in JavaScript. So it's very easy to use in web programming contexts. And now many other programming languages have added support for JSON so that you can read and write to JSON format. And previously, prior to the existence of JSON, XML was the popular interchange format, and it had schemas that described how XML files needed to be written and structured for different kinds of documents. JSON has some benefits over XML. One, it's human readable and human writable. It's lightweight. XML has lots of other brackets and property names and things repeated all through the code. And JSON is also object oriented, so it supports things like dictionaries and objects and arrays, and these things can be nested inside each other. So a JSON object is basically a set of key value pairs, what we would know as a Swift dictionary, and JSON also supports common other objects we're familiar with, like arrays, strings, numbers, booleans, etc. So let's have a little look at some JSON. Here's a JSON object. We can see this because it's inside swirly braces, and we have a number of properties here, keys that are all strings, and then values, and the values can be strings, booleans, a couple more strings here, an empty array, an integer, or in fact these 6 lines are a value that is also itself a object, and it has 4 properties within it. If you wanted to look at a JSON file, you can go to this website CodeBeautify and have a look at the JSON viewer, which is here. And we can paste some JSON code in here. And then it will, with the tree viewer, give us a structured version of this where we can see that it contains a couple of properties as metadata, and then some data which has an integer, a string, and then a booster object, and 301 card objects, which is an array. And then within this array we have another number of objects, where this is the first one, and it has 35 properties, has an artist name, and then some availability information, which is in an array. So you can see there's lots of structure to all of this. And we can also just print it here as a text version, but in a nicely indented format so that you can see the structure. Okay, thanks for watching.